Hello, family. This is Mama Lena. I'm the lady on the couch again. I'm coming to bring you this video uh, about our future. First of all, I want you to know that our nation is not falling asleep. We truly are waking up more and more. This is the December 4th, 2017. And a lot of people think that we're falling back to sleep or that the message is dying. It's not dying. Trust me, it's growing. There are more people that's being added to this truth every day. And I want you to be encouraged. And I'd like to tell our young people to keep spreading the word and making your teachings on the YouTube because we get a lot out of it. And this is where a lot of our people are waking up. And I want to bring this to your attention. I don't know, a lot of you have probably already saw it, but there's a guy on here called Professor Black. He has a YouTube channel. I'm going to show you his page. Um, it's Professor Black Headquarters, and I want to show you his page so that you'll know how to look for him. Here, this is, I'm not going to play it, but I want you to see. Um, I think you can see that. It's Professor Black, and he's got this net neutrality, and that was made on yesterday. This is a video that you really should see because there's a lot of good information on it. Like I told you, I have stopped watching television. The normal news, the network news, they only tell you about uh, surface things that's going on and entertainment. They're not giving you any in-depth news on what's really going on in the world. Um, I have stopped watching TV for about 8 months now, and all I do is I find my information primarily on YouTube. I don't have any other social media, so this is where I get my information. And you do have to be careful because all the information on here is not true, but you have a discerning spirit. If you're studying the scripture, you'll have wisdom, and you'll pretty much be able to tell what's true or not. This Professor Black is talking about net neutrality, and he breaks it down so well that you understand it. And I'm not going to go into a lot of scripture or anything because if you want to know more about scripture and how this plays into um, the last days and uh, the Messiah coming back, you have to do your own study. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here, I'm just the lady on the couch that will give you the temperature of how our nation is waking up. I don't have any fancy messages, but I want you to know that this word is true, and I study it and I stay in it, and I keep up with the world and as it matters to us. Net neutrality is I think it's a federal mandate that has to be passed through our federal government. And it's the difference of having platforms such as YouTube, information platforms, or not. The big network companies, Comcast and stuff like that, they're trying to take over the internet. And if that happens, if net neutrality passes and these big giant conglomerate companies can take over the internet, they're going to get rid of the internet so that you can go back to watching TV or watching the um, propaganda that they want to push to you. We won't have this platform as freely as we have it now. So this is just, you really need to do your own study, but this word is getting out. I have one other thing I'd like to tell you. I do believe that this nation, America, is on its way down. I truly believe that. I have one scripture I'd like to share with you, and that scripture reads, it's Galatians chapter 6, verse 7 through 9, King James Version, and it reads like this. Galatians 6, 7 through 9. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. So we will reap good things if we follow God's law. And don't be faint. I would like to encourage our young brothers to keep spreading this message, because people are listening and people do need to hear the truth. And if we want to come out of this captivity, we really need to be following the commandments of God. And that's what I believe. Now, even those people who feel like they're not Israelites, the Black community is truly waking up all over the world. And so we have to unify. I was looking at a YouTube clip today that I think our sister Lisa Cabrera put out, and several other people have put it out too. How the president of Ghana told the French president that we don't need your resources from you, we need to build our own country. It was a speech he gave with the French President Macron was there. And these African nations are even waking up, and they're realizing that we have access to the greatest continent on the earth with all the most resources, and all of these wars that are perpetrated primarily by America are just there um, to pillage and steal the resources. That's all it's all about. Um, Europe has no resources, basically. Europe makes nothing. Let the white people go back to Europe and let us have our lands back on the continent of Africa, where all the resources are. That was meant for us, and these European nations are not doing anything but raping for the resources. And everywhere that the so-called white man sets his foot, he doesn't do anything but cause disaster, pillage, and leaves it in a mess. Okay, and that allows him to go in and rob and steal our resources. Now, you know, in Libya, where Gaddafi had ruled, that was one of the richest African nations that was built up in modern days. And that's an African continent. Gaddafi, America killed him, and that country has not been the same since. As a matter of fact, some of our African brothers that are fleeing the continent of Africa are being sold in slavery today due to Obama and his Secretary of State, Clinton. Miss Clinton. So that's a direct result of having Obama as president. He did nothing for us. I don't want to say I don't like the man, because he carried himself in a very dignified way, but he didn't do anything for us. As a matter of fact, he worked to our detriment. He did something for every community except us, and he did nothing to help Black people. So remember, he is a Hamite. He really was raised by white people, and he does not have the Black experience as we do. So we can't expect these people to save us. But trust me, we are waking up. Um, I just run into so many people. We are awake. The average person on the street, you'll be surprised. And we are working together. We're building businesses. Um, you know, some of us are a little slow. I'm still working on 2 or 3 endeavors myself, but it is happening, and we know Rome was not built overnight. So keep the faith, stay strong, pray, keep those commandments, and I think that our time is coming. So just like Galatians says, don't be faint. Keep strong. and keep the movement going. Turn off the TV and find some real information, okay? Find real information. YouTube is where I get a lot of my information, and other sites on the internet. There are other Black platforms. I don't know how well they're doing, but don't become faint. Keep the faith and keep doing the work. Peace.